SacTown Movie Buffs TV with your host, Kier Stoves.
Welcome back to another edition of SacTown Movie Buff Television. Once again, it's your host, Kier the Critic. And today in the studio, we have the owner-operator of Sac Life TV, Mr. Ron Hermann. How you doing today, Ron?
Good. Pleasure to be here.
So happy to have you on the show here today. As most people probably should know, is we actually have our show streaming on your broadcast as well. And so I just wanted to have you on the show just to find out a little bit more about what it is that you do and some of the positive influences your channel has in the community.
Well, that's great. And you know what? I love the synergy we have here because we're a PEG station here in Sacramento, and so is Access Sacramento with Donna and her team. And your team, films here. We film here as well. So working together as a group, we bring more content to Sacramento, let Sacramento know what's going on.
And that's a good thing. I think that's great. I think the collaboration, I think it's great for the community. It's great for morale, and it's just great for the energy. As everybody's trying to get their platform and get their stuff out on regular TV.
Absolutely.
I should say.
Absolutely.
So my first question for you is, how did you get involved with Sac Life TV?
Oh my gosh! You know what? I'm gonna have to really condense this down because this is an interesting story. But make a long story as short as I can. In my younger career, I was a firefighter. I played football at the University of Georgia with Herschel Walker and some of the names of my era, the 80s.
Right.
And, I was living the high life, and I got injured, came back from Georgia, got injured on the job with the fire departments, and they had me on Vicodin. Vicodin turned into cocaine. Cocaine turned into methamphetamine. So for 15 years, I fell off the map. I was unhireable. And I was living out in the boonies, and in 2007, I ran a stop sign in Galt and got hit in the driver's side door at 70 miles an hour and woke up in basically an ambulance with them zipping the bag over my head that I had died. I woke up and scared the heck out of the EMTs. They were on the way to the coroner's office, turned around, went to the hospital. I'm in the hospital, and while I'm recovering, I'm thinking, what would have just happened if that should have been the end of my story. And
right.
On the TV set while I'm in my recovery room, I see this pastor talking about recovery, and I don't want to hear this. Turn it off, got out of the hospital, lost everything, ended up in a little apartment downtown Sacramento. I called it Niagara Walls. It was so flea-bitten that when they flushed the toilets upstairs, it would leak into my beds. So we called it Niagara Walls.
Right.
But while we're there, I'm thinking I'm in the lowest low of my life, and I'm in the room doing some drugs to make myself feel better, and I hear my girlfriend, and she's watching the same pastor on TV, and I come out and I go, why are you watching that guy for? She goes, nothing else will come in. She hits the remote, the static, and just this channel will be the only channel come in. It's this pastor, and he's talking about recovery again, and I don't want to hear this, but I asked her, I said, where's this guy from? And she goes, right there. She points to the TV set. I go, honey, it's rhetorical. I know he's from there. She goes, no, there. There's the TV set, the window, and outside our apartment across the street was this pastor's home base.
Really? Was it church?
It was a church.
Oh, it was a church. Got it.
Okay, matter of fact, it was Doug Batchelor with Amazing Facts.
Right.
And the Seventh-day Adventists. So I didn't know anything about him, but something's telling me to go to this church. So I go to this church, tell this pastor my story. So I've had this monkey on my back for 15 years. For the strangest reasons, I saw you in the hospital. I see you in my apartment, and you're across the street.
Right.
Something's going on here.
Right.
So he said a prayer over me, gave me some Bible passages, and said, if you ever given this to Christ? I said, no, that's not the thing you do when you're on drugs. And so he convinced me to go home that night, throw everything into the toilet, and say the prayer of my life. And I did. And the next morning, I woke up for the first time in 15 years. I didn't have the urge to do drugs. Now, this is ridiculous because after that many years of doing addiction, I expect to either be dead or go to prison.
Right. It's not easy.
It's not easy.
Right. Exactly.
So literally, I was cured overnight. And I started going to this church, and I asked the pastor if he could find me a job where I could serve God and also support my family. Because at that time, I was driving limousines. When you're driving limousines, everybody wants to know for the driver, where all the good stuff is.
Right.
That wasn't where I needed to be.
No, that's not a good spot for you. Yeah.
He said, we got this little TV station downtown. Why don't you go down and apply for it? Do you have any background in broadcasting? And I said, literally, yes, I've got a degree in broadcasting and production, but never used it because I could never pass a drug test when I went to applications.
Right.
So I go down, I get the job. First day on the job, I'm putting these DVDs in, low man on the totem pole, just putting content in.
Right.
And I pull this content out, it says Doug Batchelor, 7 o'clock Friday night. it hits me. This is the
Same
same TV station
You were watching in the
that
hospital.
I'm watching in the hospital.
Right.
That now I was in the apartment, and now full circle, I am now working for the station. And now, 17 years later, I own the station.
That is
So
a phenomenal.
That's-
I think that's a
so
testament. You know,
that's-
that's a testimony right there.
And over the years, we were SAC, for those of you out there who've been here a long time, SAC Life TV used to be SAC Faith TV. And we've been here for many years. But this last years when I took it over, we needed to expand our content. We saw that there's more things going on in Sacramento than obviously just faith.
Right.
And Access Sacramento covers a lot of that stuff.
Right.
But what we want to do is expand not only to have faith-based programming on our station,
Right.
but there's so much bad news out there. You
Right.
know, the
Well,
mainstream
look,
media.
it's all about crime.
all
it's
about
all
crime, about this, about
Right,
that, about
right.
bad politics.
Right.
Where can we go in our community to find out what's good in our community? So we want to expand our programming to not only be faith-based, but outreach, our nonprofits and what they're doing in our community, what's going on in the different parts from Citrus Heights, from Folsom, from Elk Grove and El Dorado Hills. What's going on in our community? You need to contact us and let us know so that we can bring our cameras out and show the Sacramento region what's good going on in our community.
I think that's a beautiful thing. So what kind of programs are on Sac Life TV right now? If someone were to say, well, why should I watch it? You know, I don't know much about the faith-based programs or
Sure.
some of the other things that you have on your network right now. Can you kind of share a little bit
Sure, and that's a
about that?
good question. And our bread and butter is our faith base, and we're not just Christian. We're multi-faith. So we've got different sermons on from your Baysides to your Capital Christian Center. You've got Dr. Badeau and Powerhouse Podcast, from our smaller churches to our bigger churches. And the reason is a lot of people, they might like a pastor, and he may be on the other side of town and they can't make it all the time. Or
Right.
they're elderly and they're shut in, so
Right.
they can't make it. So we've got something there that they can come and find if they can't make it to a in-person
actual
service. So
denominator.
that,
Yeah, right.
and that's that part.
Yeah.
The other part of our programming is, like I said, community events and outreach. We did the Holocaust for the Holocaust Remembrance last year. Elk Grove did a heroes banquet to honor the heroes in Elk Grove, the firemen and police in their area. So we go out and cover that. This weekend, which would be last weekend if this is airing next week,
Right.
was the Auburn Rib Cook-Off, which,
Oh, yeah.
which that is a big event, and that
yeah.
goes to serve the Crime Victims United, which is a big organization. That money helps out the crime victims, and that event pulls in 5,000 people. And a lot of people that don't know about it because it's up in Auburn, we're going to film it. We're going to make a mini documentary. We're going to air that in next month so people can see what they missed and put it on their calendar for next year. And then in September 24th at Bayside Folsom, we have our first event, combined event with the Recovery, Celebrate Recovery. It's actually Recovery Month in September. So we're going to have our first annual Celebrate Recovery car show, bike show, and concert where we're bringing in Andrew Marshall from Tennessee. Andrew Marshall has kind of a similar story as Jelly Roll. He had like 9 years in prison as a drug dealer, got born again, comes out of prison, and within 3 years, he's now Christian Country Music Artist of the Year. With
Interesting.
2 albums out there, and we're flying him in, so it's going to be a free concert, September 24th. You might have a flyer that you can put up that we gave
Yeah,
you.
absolutely.
September 24th. It's a Tuesday night, so it's kind of an off night, but that's good. Bring your cars out. Registration's at 3:30. Car shows at 5 o'clock to 6:30. 6:30 is the concert, and it's a free concert. Free car show for the public, $10 for people coming in. And if you want to stay for the barbecue, it's $10 for that. And we'll be filming that, and we'll air that concert sooner or later on the station.
Very cool. So the final thing I had for you was just if anybody wanted to get a hold of you directly, if they say, hey, you know, I want to get involved, you know, I
Absolutely.
have an idea for a series, I'd love to get on your programming or things of this nature, what's the best way they can get a hold of you?
Absolutely,
and contact
absolutely.
you?
It's real easy. You contact me directly. There's no middleman. Ron at SacLife.tv. Ron at SacLife.tv. We're looking for content. If you have something going on in the community that you think it should be filmed, or you're working on a series that you're looking for a place to air that series, SacTown Movie Buffs. We're on what time?
Yeah.
What time are you on our station?
We're on Wednesdays at 7:30.
Wednesdays at 7:30. Either tune in here on Access or tune in with us, and you'll see SacTown Movie Buffs as well. Been a pleasure being here.
Yeah, thanks so much, Ron, for coming on the show. It's great having you. You've
You
been
bet.
a great guest, man.
All
And
right.
we'll have to have you on again. I love the community events that you do. So next time you have an event that's going on or coming up, kind of like the chili cook-off, let us know. We'll have you back on the
Well,
show
let me
again.
get quickie, just a little taste. We're working on an event with Mosey Collins Law Firm next year for Feed the Children. This is just in the works. We're working on a 15 to 25,000 person event. We're bringing a name act in, and this will be held at one of our main places here in Sacramento, and that money will be raised money for Feed the Children sometime for Thanksgiving next year. More to come on that.
Very good. That's a great program. And like I said, I promise I'll definitely follow up with you and have you back on the show again.
All right. Pleasure being here.
Great. Thanks so much for watching SacTown Movie Buff Television. We'll be back again soon, another episode. Have a great day.